Morning. This will be the most boring video you've ever watched. It's the sand out. If if you're looking for something else, this ain't the video for you. Let's see here. We need to go to studio. I need to get that turned on. Big achievement, 4,000. 4,009. When are we going to hit 5,000? Let's see here. Content. Live. Need this on. Save. Okay, should have been saved before, but whatever. And we got a comment here. Hey, Tony Dallas. Like given. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Today's about sanding out. I've also got to super fill the canopy in. I did last night off camera while Charles was broadcasting, get the super fill on the bottom, but that's not a, it's all rinse and repeat now. Good afternoon. Almost an afternoon. Well, 5 minutes from now, it'll be afternoon. Everything is rinse and repeat now. It's sand and sand and sand. I got the nose sanded out. It sanded really nice. Now we're going to do the fillets. So if you're not into boring, you might want to choose a different video. Because this is going to take some time, and we're going to be sanding for a while. Just the way it goes. I changed my mind on this AutoZone primer. I sprayed some AutoZone primer on the elevator here. That's right. I sprayed some AutoZone primer on this elevator here. It's not like DC 540. It's a gumball setup. We won't be using that. I think on this model, I am going to use old school method of baby powder and dope. So later on today, I got to go to Walgreens and get me some baby powder. And don't tell me zinc stearate. Zinc stearate is oily. I hate this stuff. All this stuff is all Jimson, Drywall. Baby powder is basically drywall. But we'll add it. I'll add it to the rest of my mix here that I have had left over. Probably add a cup of baby powder to that, and a couple drops of black paint to make it gray, and we'll put it on and sand it off. That way it's a guide coat and I can see where I'm going. Different finishing methods. Let's see if this camera views a little better. Yeah. You're going to be a beauty. See how nice that sanded out? If this would have been epoxylite, I'd have been grinding on it with a disc grinder. But Superfill sands just like balsa wood. And I'm just hitting it with 180 first here. And then we'll come back to 320. I mean, there's going to be a lot of sanding, so. So if you ain't into sanding, this video ain't for you. Let's see. Well, I'm not going to do I'm going to do a little better than a Pampa paint job, even though I'm still going to try to stick to the 1-quart system. On my Pampa paint jobs, I don't use any baby powder sander. So I'm just trying different stuff to see if I can come up with better finishes for my Pampa paint jobs. I even thought about getting some epoxy 2-pack primer, put it on, sand it off, see what it does, see how much it weighs. Let's see. You can spray coat. That's right. But I can tell you this, forget AutoZone primer. It was a job to get this stuff sanded off. Gumball City. I don't think there's anything as good as DC 540 used to be. I do have a gallon of lacquer primer in the garage. I could go get some xylene and we could try that. Matter of fact, maybe that's what I'll do. Xylene and dope thinner. Speaking of dope thinner, I haven't even got it out of the car yet. So I use different sanding tools. This is a little polywog. For the leading edges, we get polywogs that look like that, cupped. For the fillet areas, you get polywogs that look like this, or smaller like that one. I use foam pads like this, big pads like this. Foam, these are foam, so they're, when you sand this, they conform to the shape of the wing, and they really cover a lot of areas to get a lot of the stuff off. But if you look, I'm sanding most of the dope off here, and it's really coming off good. It's been drying for a year, so. I'm back there. Okay, so now I have some grinding to do. This, if you remember, I put those carbon fiber spots on it there. I put the carbon fiber squares on top of this so it doesn't show the cracks. And now and they're glued down with the CA. And now the superfill over the top of it to blend that out. And that, like I say, that keeps it from showing up. There's a lot of stress under high G turn right there, right there, right there at the leading edge. You'll notice that they always get structural cracks there. You know, all the models do. So you try to plan for planned for that. You can spray coat a primer. Let's see. We're going to use baby powder, I think. Yeah, it'll be like Aerogloss sanding sealer. It just won't smell as nice. You know what? I need to get a camera overhead. We need to pull this up and let's look and see what that does. We'll look and see what that does. Where the hell happened to the mouse? There it is. There we go. Better. At least you can see what I'm doing. It's zoomed in, maybe. The one-man show. Lights, camera, action. Shit. Okay, I got some 80 grit on a block here. I'm knocking down the superfill. You got to stay off the tissue though when you're doing that. Otherwise, you'll leave grooves there. You'll have to fill with aqua green. Switch to 180 so we can feather that in. Like I say, this is going to be a boring video. When I do appearance judging, these are places I always look because these are troubled areas. Cap strips, of course this doesn't have any. The molding into the canopy. You don't just look for shine for you guys who are thinking of judging appearance. Hold it, you can see, candle it off the available light. You can see if facets are sanded into the wing tips and leading edges and stuff. That's why I say Craig Gunder's airplane is a truly overlooked airplane. It's sanded super well. Doesn't have spray shine on it. It's dope. but it's well executed. Heavy though. So this is 180. This is 180. It'll leave scratches in the tissue. So after sanding with 180, it has to be gone over with 320. That's 80. We don't want that. That's 320. I think that's 180. I don't know. We'll see. Boring. I'm bored and I'm the guy doing it. But I know it has to get done. I'll try to have this painted by the end of next week. Then we can move on to something else. We'll test. I'm gonna test. I might want to fly this at FCM. It'll be painted, just won't be rubbed. Well, it might be rubbed out a little. Now, I'm candling this on the light. You can see it, it's shiny right here. It's no good. You notice I'm not going this way. You go that way, you get flat. And I can see the flats and it looks like crap. Got shinies right there. I've changed my mind on how I'm going to do this canopy. I'm just going to mold this in, or sand it in, mold it in, and then paint it from the outside. It's not a very good shape canopy. It's a Sig shape, but not the shape I want. Make it look better. It's 320 here. High spot there. How'd it go in the bathroom? Let's see. You know what? I may have baby powder. Did I buy? I got cornstarch, I know. The ball slide stuff. But I don't have any baby powder. I didn't buy any baby powder. I have none on the shelf. Yeah, I'm afraid it's a trip to Walgreens. I think all the videos put out today will be sanding videos. Let's see if we can get it sanded out in a day. Pretty hard to do. Pretty hard to do. I also use the end of the polywog as a sanding implement for tight areas like that. I'm using the end. Use whatever it takes. It doesn't matter. But use it. Shit. Sanded a notch in it. We sanded a notch in it, so let's get a stick. Better control stick. There it is. Change positions. Let's do 180. There we got it. That's good. So now I need this. That's good right there. The hardest part to do is this leading edge transition to go around this corner. Probably going to have to add some, when I say, you know, we already got 2 superfill applications down. I'll probably have to, this is 3, I'll probably have to do 4, maybe 5 to get all these areas here. But we'll get as close as we can today. Put the superfill on tonight. Let it dry. Come back tomorrow. You know, this thing could see paint Monday. No, gotta go flying Sunday. That's already in the works. And laundry Monday, so maybe not. I don't know. Maybe Monday evening. Depending. To do an outstanding paint job, you paint it, let it dry, fix all the buggers, and paint it again. This is the leading edge that I reshaped right here. And I'm so very glad I did. God, that looks so much better. Yeah? Do you know why? The reason why thin layers are better than thick layers is it gives time for the first layer to gas off. The thicker the layer, the longer it takes to gas off. It gives you solvent pops is all. When I do my next Viper, these fillets on the original Viper were balsa wood. Now, I just told you why, for gassing off. See, what happens is when you do a thick layer of paint, you lay down a thick layer of paint, and if you don't let it dry for, till it all gases out, you lay the next thick layer of paint on it. The solvents are trapped under the first coat because they've skinned over it. So you lay the second layer on, and it softens the top part of that first layer and allows the solvent to bubble up like a tar pit, and it pop. We're going to have to aqua green that right there. Oh, I see. That's what the painters in the car painting business call solvent pop, and that's what it is. Now what I'm doing here is the light is showing shiny spots. And those shiny spots are the low spots. So you sand it down until the shiny spot disappears, and then they're all the same height. And that's what's known as candling. Now we've already shaped this. Do not sand lengthwise like this. You get facets. This nose has been glassed, doped, glassed, then tissued, then doped, 3 coats, and now we're sanding it, getting it ready for top coat. Now around this area right here, break the edge. Now if you're using an epoxy or car paint or whatever, you don't much have to because it won't flake off. But I don't have any castor oil. I'd show you the one drop. Maybe I'll get some castor oil too at a little complete old school on this finish. Put castor oil in my dope. They're called sanding. Let me see. I got them on Amazon. They're called sanding aids, or there's something sanding. They're not called polywogs. Sanding shapers or something along that line. But they got them on Amazon. I need an Amazon affiliate link is what I need. Because I mostly get all my tools off Amazon. Let me see if I can find them for you real quick. I'll put a link out. Hang on, guys. I'll find you the sanding tools. I'll look at my purchase history. Amazon. S-A-N-D. Sticks. No, that's not them. Sanding shapers. Sanding shapers. It's not them. Sanding pads. Sanding shapers. S-H-A-P-E-R. Shapers for wood. And we got the, there we go, right here. Profile contour angle sanding grip pad. Now, this is a, here we go. This is the ones I got. $21.99. Here's the link. Copy. And paste. Or if you can't, sanding grips is what they're called. Contour sanding grips. Copy. Paste. There you go. You get 21 profiles for $21, so $1 a profile. Yep, I need an Amazon affiliate link, because if you know what to look for or know how to use the search feature on Amazon, I buy all my stuff on Amazon because I get it next day. You know, it's actually it's cheaper than if I go to the store, but you know that does knock out the paint stores. But the paint stores don't carry that stuff. So, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gotta do what you gotta do. Let's see here. Where's my little stick? Where? This is the big one. There's the little one. I'm looking there and I see a little hole, so I gotta sand it out. Sand it out. Gives you a nice radius out of fillets too. When you, I used to use dowels. Yeah, well, tell her it just smells exactly like fingernail polish remover. I built motorcycles in my front room. Ain't got a garage, you got to do what you got to do. And that was in an upstairs apartment. I took it downstairs, down the back stairs. It was tough. Right in the living room, right in front of the TV. Okay, let's get this one set. This one's close enough. We'll skim some acryl on there. If this was epoxylite, you wouldn't sand it out that fast. You need a jackhammer to sand it out. Okay. Okay, knife. Come on now. Razor blade. We'll get a razor blade on this puppy. I found a spot I didn't get doped down very good. Yeah, we'll come back and detail them hinge. When I was in the Navy, I got thrown out of an apartment for cooking my panhead valve covers in the oven with wrinkle paint, and I fell asleep because I was drunk, and it made smoke, almost burned the place down. They threw me out. That was in San Diego. They had no sense of humor. Wouldn't do anything, it just made a lot of smoke, you know. Made a lot of smoke. What the hell we gotta do here? I've always built in the house ever since I was a kid. Well, I did have a 2-car garage afterwards, but that was California, and the weather was a lot better than where I'm at now. Of course, everybody talks about the hottest day on record, the hottest day on record. We didn't have air conditioning when I was a kid. You turn on the fan. Go play in the water outside. You guys need to quit complaining. Politicians got too used to the easy life. Because I know a lot of them are, you know, older than me. Some are in their 80s. I know damn well they didn't have air conditioning when they were kids. Shit, we had a black and white TV that had a green screen on it. Big old RCA cabinet, little tiny screen, bigger up, big cabinet, little screen. 3 channels. TV went off at midnight. Get to watch the Indian movie at the end of the night. Winter Indian movie. How many guys remember the roll control? I used to flip over and over and over again. Yeah, vertical hold. That's it. Vertical hold. They also had a horizontal spacing too to move the picture back and forth on the tube. Those televisions used to amaze me. All them tubes in the back humming and the heat coming off. I think the first TV series that I remember is either Bonanza or The Big Valley. Clint Eastwood was probably 21 when he did that. Maybe younger. Maybe he had. Let's see. Clint Eastwood appeared. What the hell did he appear? Then they had Gunsmoke. My favorite series. Yeah, Rawhide was there, but my favorite series was Sky King. He was the sheriff that rode around in the twin engine. I guess it was a Beach. May have been a regional program. I don't know. Used to watch 12 O'Clock High. I really liked McHale's Navy. How many of you guys remember Leave It to Beaver and his model airplane? He worked in a hobby shop, and he wanted to buy a, I don't know whether it was I don't remember exactly what it was, but he didn't have the quarter or whatever. And the hobby shop guy, the owner, let him work it off. They were preparing for some big model contest. That was it. That was a 50s. God, it's amazing the kind of crap I can remember. Can't remember yesterday, but boy, I can remember all kind of crap from yesteryear. And My Three Sons, Leave It to Beaver. I think Bewitched came out in the 60s. Mr. Ed. My Favorite Martian. They had good programs back then. Ozzy and Harriet, yeah, watch them guys. Now we got crap on TV. LGBTQXYZ LMNOP stuff. Got to be equitable. Remember, a good paint job is not what you put on, it's what you sand off. Now, by the time Captain Kangaroo came around, I was older. He didn't interest me much, but I did watch it some with my brother. My brother's 10 years younger than I am. Life lessons. The cartoons were funny back then too. Now they're combat. They're getting you ready for combat. Heckle and Jekyll, just like them guys. The Magpies. Yeah, it's all crap, that's for sure. Maybe I ought to go get my palm sander now that I got battery operated palm sander. I think that would make flats in it. Oh shit now. You bet. It would be nice if they'd put on some good shows like the old ones. Yeah, it would. That's the reason why you old farts come here and watch me instead of the other crap. What was the name of that? There was a scientific program on. I can't remember the name of it. Used to do all kind of scientific experiments. I like that pretty good. Mr. Wizard. Mr. Wizard. That was Rocky and Bullwinkle, though. Tristle, trassle, trussle, trome. Time for this one to go home. Now, there was a program that did all kind of scientific projects. I can't remember the name of that show. Mr. Wizard was on Rocky Bullwinkle. Rocky would say, "Let's ask Mr. Wizard." And then he'd go there and they'd say that tristle trassle stuff, and he'd be teleported back to wherever he came from. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, it could have been Mr. Science. I don't know. All I remember is that's where I learned about gyroscopic precession. And how he did that was got a bar stool with a swivel top, and they took a bicycle and they stuck the bicycle out with the rear wheel, that took the front wheel off, and he held it in his belly right here, and he started cranking the pedals. You get the back wheel turning, and as long as he held it straight, the bar stool wouldn't turn. Turn it to the right, and the bar stool would go around to the right. Turn it to the left, the bar stool would go around to the left. And that's from the gyroscopic precession of the tire. Yeah, Mr. Peabody was on there too. Wonder how Peabody's doing. Rich Peabody, not Mr. Peabody. There he had some health issues. Haven't seen him on Stunhanger in a while. Hope he's okay. Of course, he's a liberal. He may be mad at me. We're going to need a new piece of sandpaper, guys. We can wore this one out, I think. We got a little bit there. Do I believe in climate change? Yep, 4 times a year. All the money in the world won't stop that either. Let's see. What makes plants grow, give off oxygen? CO2. So then why are we trying to stop CO2? They also have proven that the CO2 content of the atmosphere was 10 times greater a million years ago because the vegetation, there was no concrete on the ground. So we need to plant more trees. So this agenda is totally backwards. I'll probably get dinged for that, but it's the truth. Only speaketh the truth. They've indoctrinated these kids, to believe all that horse nonsense. Not what I wanted to say, but it's a family-friendly show. Maybe. So it's taking an hour to sand out some of this stuff. It'll take all day to do this. This is something that don't happen fast. See, yesterday and the day before and the day before that, when I was showing you how to put the tissue on and do the fillets, that's the framing. Now the finished carpenter comes in and got to sand all this crap. Then the painter comes in and you got to paint it all. But if the finished carpenter don't do his job getting it nice, it looks like crap. Sure, I'm glad them old guys at that lumber yard yesterday. That was in Illinois, by the way. I had never been there. Were accommodating to me to get that stick. We are living in George Orwell's book right now. How did he know? It's either that or they took his book and made it reality. Okay, let's sand this back half here. I'm kind of just going through this and it's getting roughed in. I'll have to come back and like right here, it needs a touch up. What the hell happened to the little wog? Come on. There it is. You do all the painting before you install the what? The last thing to be done on the airplane is to glue the flaps on. Flaps and elevators. If that's what you're asking. That's the very last thing before I go flying. I think this thing's going to have too much flap. Built as designed. Depends on the weight, I guess, what it comes out at. Maybe Mike designed it because he knew people would build it heavy, but they fly pretty good when they're light. Lots of bits are flaps, elevator, tank, engine, landing gear. Yeah, that's right. It all goes in last. I have a point-to-point. If you really want to be accurate, come off there. That ain't it. Let's get this. There we go. I haven't had it on there in a while because it's been over John's and building with his table, and you're doing the nitty gritty. Yep, I'm sanding. I'm back in my realm. If you really want to be accurate on your building, you get yourself a T-square like this. There was holes drilled into this, machined in, and I bolt the plate on it this way. It has a bunch of holes drilled in the plate. You bolt that to the engine because you get stack tolerance any other way. You bolt that to the engine and you measure the leading edge, trailing edge, leading edge, trailing edge of the state, and that gives you the true thrust line of the thing. It's to make sure everything's set up right, you know. But I haven't used that in quite a while because I've been doing it on glass. Basically did that when I was building in hand. We're gonna have to have some more super fill right there. I'll get that when I do the canopy. We might, we'll do a couple of hours here, sanding, and I'll do the canopy. I got to go to Walgreens to get some baby powder. Only thing is, I don't have any quart cans to mix it in. I have to do it in a mason jar. It doesn't smell good until you start sanding. That's when it smells really good. We'll see what Randolph and baby powder smell like. Aerogloss is super primo. I'd put a camera on this side, but this is not a studio, it's a workshop. The cables are only so long. Only got so much money to work with. Basically, all the money that you guys do for super chats and advertising and all that, it goes right back into this. Helps me pay what I put in on my credit card. Ain't getting rich doing this, that's for sure. Going broke. People think, you're rich, you got a website. Yeah, right. Why don't you take it from me? That was so funny when the Chinese threatened me. We'll take your website. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. Oh, hey Sparky, what do you think the best profile airplane to learn to the stunt pattern? Well, there's a lot of good ones. Mo Best, that's a good one. From my era, it was a magician or a trophy trainer. But there's a lot of good ones now. Pathfinder. Uh, there's a lot of good ones. You know, pick one and you find one, and I'll tell you whether it's good for you or not. Depends on what engine you have and how much room you have. Everything's a trade-off. Magician is the doofiest looking airplane in the world, but it's well capable of learning the pattern and doing a good pattern. Trophy trainer is a good airplane. There are a few changes to make it fly better, but I think I don't know. I've never flown a franchise twister. What sort of proportion of baby powder to dope do you apply? Man, I don't have an answer for that. I just put it in till I think it's right. Never really thought about it. The more you put in, the thicker the paste is going to be. I'll tell you that. You don't want a thick paste. You want to paint with some body to it. Basically, is what you're looking for. I just know this primer don't work. It fills real good because it's thick, but it don't sand. you got to be able to sand too. We need another sheet of paper on this. Don't fall into get in the dirt. There's different kinds of primer. There's primer filler, primer, etching primer, primer surfacer, sandable primer. And this AutoZone primer is primer filler. Lots of body, not sandable. Because if it balls up on the paper, it's no good. That's because it has aromatic distillates in it instead of the good shit. Biodegradable, non-toxic, not worth a dime. Okay. We're going to have to go at it with something heavier than that. I think the most expensive thing on my airplane is the sandpaper. Two birds with one stone. There we go. Jonathan says, yeah. Yep. Yeah, almost. Yeah, almost. That's good. Need some more angle on it. What do you think? Oh, I already answered that question. We got a guy here in town, John Garrett. For some of you guys may know him or may not. You can fly this airplane, be an expert, and fly this airplane, and he'll beat you with a box stock twister. So what's the best profile? Shit. I don't know, the guy who practices with it, I guess. Joe Gilbert can beat you with a ringmaster. So they're both profiles. No, I don't. I mean, I got an idea what I want to do. Red, white, black. Gold leaf letters. Pinstripes. I don't know. Airbrush work. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try to be more creative with the paint job on this because it's a solid, foam wing. Instead of open bay, I can do some more stuff with it. But this is not a Pampa airplane. It's a N30 airplane. But no sense in making a rag. I'm going to open up that stunt history book and see if there's something in there that gives me a little inspiration from that time period. Steve Busso and Billy always had nice patterns. I think Steve Busso is some type of graphic artist. Walt Prey had real nice patterns. Tom Warden had nice patterns, but there's not many of them. Oops. Oops. We need what? Get that out. I sanded a notch in it again. Shoot, how am I going to get that out? There we go. We got her now. I'll tell you what I might do with this. Let's paint everything on it except for my AMA numbers, take it to the Worlds, and sell it to somebody that came from Europe. But how would they get it home? I don't know. Not my problem. But seeing as it's FAI, they could compete with it. I mean, in case somebody crashes something. Because it does happen. How would you like to go to another country, crash your airplane, and not have one? That would be such a bummer. Spend all that money, get there, and not have an airplane. Almost got it. Almost time to figure out how much paint I can put on this thing. I'd like to get that off. There we go. Okay, these are roughed in. The top is, now for the bottom. Then it needs to be sanded, detail sanded. And we'll get some baby powder on it. Then it needs to be sanded again. We need to figure out what it weighs right now, though. Yeah. Let's see what it weighs. We'll figure out what the airplane's going to weigh. And how much paint I can put on it. I need to take this shit out of here. These go over here. Don't need these no more. I'll set the engine and tank and shit right here. Don't need the horns. Oop, don't know what that was. Hope it wasn't important. Ah. With my nose ring. That's okay. With my nose ring. Here's my Viper right here. We'll need this for weight. We'll need this for weigh-in. We'll need this for weigh-in. This goes over here. We'll need that for weigh-in. We don't need this. We don't need that. Tires for weigh-in. Fuel line. We'll need one of them tanks. Okay. Oh no, we got a tank. Tank is a metal tank in this one. Where did it go? Need the landing gear. There's the tank. Okay, quit screwing around. Where's the landing gear? Want the wheel pants on it. Need these. And now I've lost my landing gear. They gotta be here somewhere. Got too much shit on this bench, is what it is. You know where they'll be? They'll be in the last place I look. Huh. They've disappeared. They have disappeared. Not there. Huh. They're not on the table. This is aggravating. Because I'm not very organized. I need to treat this more like a job. Well, I did find the file though. I can file that off. Not in there. Oh, shit. Get rid of this. Got to be right here somewhere. We'll need one of these. Oh, no, we don't. There they are. There it is. Okay. Okay, let's see what this thing's gonna weigh. This thing now is too heavy, I can tell you that right now. "31 ounces. 31. "31 plus 31 plus 20. That's 51 ounces. Plus 6 ounces of paint, 56 ounces. Plus a couple of ounces of mystery weight, that'd be 60 ounces. So, not too far off, I guess. Now, we got to add the tip weight. 31 plus 20, 40, it's 51.5 ounces. So we'll say 52. 6 ounces of paint. 58. Yeah, we could still crack under 60, but I realistically probably 61. That's still a reasonable weight for a Magnum. I've seen them fly up to 75. How much it weigh? Oh, it's only 75 ounces. Yeah, only. The artwork that I put on this won't weigh anything. You won't be able to measure it. It's all the other accoutrement that weighs. You know, the fillets, the paint, all that other shit. Okay, let's sand out the bottom, I guess. I super filled the inside of this too last night. So the engine compartment gets sealed real good. I did that before I Z-epoxied the inside, so it'll be all encased. Like I said, we're going to get some mystery ounces, I can tell you that. Always happens. Can't get in there. There's another thing. For longevity, make sure you seal the inside of the engine compartment, because this is, raw fuel gets in there. If it gets under the motor mounts, between the motor mounts and the top block, it causes things to loosen up and shift. Not good. I just had that thing in my hand. There it is. Yeah, my heavy is everybody else's light. That's a round diamond. That's a round diamond. How many round diamonds do I have? I need a flat. There's a triangle. Here's an oval. Pretty close to flat, I guess. We'll try the diamond file. See, appearance judges should be looking for the details. They didn't this year. They looked for the shine. Like we're back in pylon days. I'm aggravated at that, because there ain't a mistake on there. What I'm doing here is sanding out the fuel tank outlet hole so that it matches perfectly with the cowl. It's all hardened up with CA now, or not CA, but Superfill. So when it was raw balsa, you could take one swipe and it'd go goofy on you. I think I need to go see that guy about his door or window. Well, he can get somebody else to do it too. I also superfilled the inside of the, I just lost my screw, the inside of the cowl. So that it's beautiful. Remember, this block of wood started out 31 grams. And now with the superfill, plywood, and all that stuff, I think it's 16. This should be no more than 1 ounce complete, painted and everything. Yeah, we got a sand on it. It'll be 1 ounce, but it's 18 now. That superfill added quite a bit. So we got to sand her out. Now, nobody sees this but you. But I can tell you this. If you don't finish it inside as well as the outside, it won't last. Doesn't have to be painted as nice, but it has to be sealed with Z-epoxy and so on. But we'll go ahead and... What normally happens with these is that because there's fuel, raw fuel gets inside here, the paint lifts off of this because it's living in a bath of fuel all the time. The engine's spewing it out, or when you fill the tank, like me, sometimes you'd be a goofball and not unplug the vent and squirt the syringe in, and instead of going through the vent, it comes out the venturi. I did that the other day. If you run anything more than 10%, it'll eat up the paint in a heartbeat. Well, we're going to have to glue a piece on my finger. I'll try no glue first. Remember, as I said, this is going to be the most boring video you've ever watched. It's sanding. Next year is going to be the World Championships in Muncie. If you've never been, you better get there because it'll be 20 years before it comes back again. A lot of us won't be around in 20 years. Come back in 2044. And it's a carnival. It's a real circus. They put up a big tent, and people from all over the world don't speak English, but we speak airplane. Wait on the plane. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be here another time. But you never know. We may not even be here for, then that's a year from now. This cow turned out nice, really nice. Not as nice as my Supermarine cow, but pretty nice. That Supermarine cow was made out of life jacket flotation balsa. I had a box of blocks that were just primo good. I've since used them all. Those blocks were in the 2 to 3 pound range. Damn, I'm not going to bend over there and get it. You dog. It came off my finger. I'm not bending down to pick it up. That ain't no good. It's used up. Okay, might have to hit it with kicker. Make it stick. Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight, $20 scale. At least it was 20 at the time. going to come off again. Kick off. You're pissing me off. Let's sand off the goober. Start again. Maybe get some thin instead. There's the thin right there. Yeah. Now, boys and girls, don't do as I do. Your mother would kill me. Okay. Yeah. Are you guys bored to death yet? Can't be that entertaining to watch a guy sand. I do have some goofy stories, though. I was told once that they come for the stories. We'll go at 3 o'clock for baby powder. That gives me an hour and 15 minutes to sand. And I should be ready for baby powder by then. Maybe. I will be ready for baby powder by tonight, but I don't know if an hour and 15 minutes or not. The baby powder probably add an ounce to my finish. When I was in the Air Force, I was a jet engine technician at Castle Air Force Base. Yeah. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be an ADJ. But they needed tin benders, so they taught me how to bend parts. But I didn't end up bending parts. I ended up painting. Navy kind of put you where they want you, not what you want. Let's see, we got this diamond file. You give us the best you get from the military. Yeah. Well, the techniques that I use here were not taught in the military. Matter of fact, I taught them some stuff. But I was a young guy then, but I did have my Uncle Jerry's tutelage on painting at that time. We did not sand anything on airplanes. We didn't sand nothing. We used a flap wheel to break the paint on working rivets, and then we, put a patch of this brown goop over it, and then shot it with epoxy primer. And it was bare metal. We used, now I can't remember the name of that green paint, whatever, self-etching primer. What the hell they call it? Zinc chromate. And then shot epoxy over the top of it. I can't imagine how much an airplane paint job weighs. I don't know how many gallons are on there, but man, there's a lot of paint on a F-14. A lot of paint. They did teach me about how layout goes. Because all those markings on an airplane are painted on. They're not. There's no decals. Got any crazy stories from the time you were in the Navy? Not really. Not really. It was basically work and drink and sleep, play cards. A lot of spades. A lot of spades. I used to sleep in the intake of a F-14. Get tired. We worked 10-hour days. Get tired, go out in the flight line, take a nap inside the engine intake. And no, I never worried about getting sucked down because in order to start an F-14, you have to bring auxiliary air. It's called a hupper. And the GSC ground support equipment, the yellow gear, would pull it up, and those huppers were always running. So they would wake you up because you hear a jet engine running, time to get up. You take your drill and flap wheel down, and I'm looking for working rivets. That was the excuse. Long hours. That's pretty good. I mean, first sand out. Military for me was 50 years ago. Okay, we're not going to worry too much about this. This is pretty good. Of course, I say that and I'll sand it again, I'm sure. Let's see if we got any weight off of it. Come on. Got 2 grams off of it, sanding it, so that's enough for the paint. Of course, I still got to fiberglass this thing, so it's going to get weight put on. Put it on, take it off. Shore Leave Stories. That was all drinking. I was a drunk. I don't remember none of that stuff. That's a good move I made quitting drinking, that's for sure. I'd be dead now if I was still drinking. I've abused the privilege. That spot right there is where CA ran down and made a big turd right there, and I just took a knife and popped it off, dug a big hole, fill it up. We're gonna need a new piece of sandpaper. Let's do this. Most of my time in the Navy was spent in an alcohol-induced stupor. I never did drugs, so that is the killer for the Navy. Too much alcohol. Of course, I don't know about now. We used to have beer machines in the barracks, 15 cents a can. We need the WOG. Where'd it go? Well, I guess my buddy is not interested about Steve Stern. I don't know if you guys heard. Steve Stern from the flagshirt.com called me yesterday. You see him on the Steve Bannon show and with Mike Lindell. We're going to see about getting an affiliate link for the flag shirt program. And I called Don Shipley yesterday to see if he was interested. He didn't call me back, so Either he's busy or not interested. I like that guy. He's funny. Nope. That Steve Stern guy called me while I was on air, and I didn't answer it, and I was complaining. If you guys remember, I should have took the call. But I called him back, and then he called me back. Supposed to call me again Monday. We shall see. When I was in the Navy, we built airplanes at the hobby shop, the Navy hobby shop. This is shore duty at this time. And at night, after work, we go fly in the Sears parking lot because it had lights. Then we go get drunk. Of course, I was drunk when I was doing it. Stop at the hot air balloon. In high school, I sold this chipmunk I had to my English teacher. I think it was $50. Robert Shaw. I wonder if he's probably dead. He was old then. Not the Bob Shaw from Triple Cream. This was LA. I think he lived in Riverside. Lived in Riverside and taught in West Covina. We only got 9 watchers now. 2 hours we've been on. I told you it'd be boring. You're still here. Okay, great. You're a glutton for punishment, torture. I've earned my lunch, huh? It won't be for another hour. I'm gonna go. I already made up my mind to stand until 3 o'clock. We'll get some baby powder. Stop at McDonald's, and then I'll be back at probably 5 o'clock. And we'll stand till midnight. Of course, I gotta stop for dinner. But I'm gonna get this thing done next week. I've been working on this now for a year. It's time to wrap it up. Get on to something else. You guys remember I bought a Ringmaster 576. I ended up selling to John Paris. I just don't get excited about profiles. I'm not even really excited about this. Somebody else's airplane, you know, somebody else's design. I basically did this because I knew that it would generate views because a lot of people have Sig Magnums. And I'd have a classic or a N30 airplane. But there's so many better airplanes to fly, and SV11 is N30 legal now. Oh, shit. Okie dokie. Do the other side now. Come on now. Make me bend over for that shit. What do you use for tack cloth? Nothing. I just take a blue paper towel, squirt some Windex on it, wipe it off. Because any of the dirt that gets in it gets sanded out anyway. I mean, I'm not shooting urethane, so it doesn't have to be 100% dust free because we're going to sand it anyhow. I've got a spot here that needs some paint. Okay. Let's sand the fillet out on this side. Oh, I see a spot here. I see a spot. I got a spot. That's what my dad used to say to the dog. You find looking for your spot? Yeah. Yeah, he's looking for the spot, Dad. I'm sure you'll step in it. There was a turd anywhere, my dad would step in it. Super unlucky. Yeah, I know that's going to show. We have to work on that. I need a drink of water. We got 45 more minutes to go. We're going to run 3 hours on this stream. I'm going to go pick up some baby powder. We'll give it a coat of, get these sanded out, give it a coat of baby powder. I still got to do the super fill around the canopy. What the hell? That thing still ain't straight. What the hell's going on here? Oh, shit. Be straight now. I need to move it over by... a little more. A little more. This front one got to get moved over this way. That's pretty good. Get that corner there. Might as well get it right. I'm not under any pressure. There we go. That's good. Tony. You have a question. Okay, I'll give an answer if I can answer it. My dad has been, the plans call for a brass bushing that goes over the pushrod control horn. How do you make that? Well, let me see. I got Pathfinder plans in the car. What? That is the Magnum design, Jonathan. Hate to distract you, but I have a question. My dad is building a Pathfinder, and the plans call for a brass bushing that goes over the pushrod into the control horn. Well, I would get a brass bushing. I assume. I mean, I can go out and get the plans. I'll bring the plans up on the next stream. I have a set of Pathfinder plans in the car, unless you guys want to wait for me to go downstairs and get them. But I would assume it's a 3/32 push rod, and I would drill a hole out in the horn, 1/8 of an inch. Put an 1/8 inch brass. Supposed to take the slop out. Yeah, I mean, I used to bush horns. I would assume that it's a 3/32. Yeah. I would assume that it's a 3/32 push rod. So you drill the horn out to an 1/8 of an inch, put an 1/8 inch piece of brass in there, solder 2 washers on it, one on each side, then stick the push rod through that 1/8 inch brass. And the ID of 1/8 inch brass tubing is 3/32, and that would be 0 slop. And then put either solder, wheel collar, or whatever, how you're going to fasten the push rod in there. That's how I would do it. I mean, there's probably other ways to do it where you can. I mean, no, there's not. There's not any other way to do it. You have to drill out the horn and put a piece of brass in it, or brass, and affix it in the horn, and that, depending on the push rod size, is the size piece of brass you need. You need to find a piece of brass that fits over the push rod with zero slop, and just take your push rod, get a piece of tubing, slip over it, make sure that it slips over good, and no slop, and then drill out the horn to that size of tubing, and then solder a washer on each side of it, or you could peen it over. I mean, I've made peens out of different things, something to mushroom the tube over to hold that tube into the horn, and then stick the push rod in, and then carefully solder or wheel collar and a keeper on there. And how you keep the solder from going into the other piece of brass is a piece of cardboard. You put you got your push rod bent like this. You push on a piece of cardboard over the top of that, then put your washer on there and solder it. That way the solder won't wick in to the other piece of brass and lock up the horn. But that's all on skill level. Can you do it? I don't know. I can do it. That turned out good. Got that detail done. Can't ding me for that. I need some saran wrap too. I wonder if Walgreens has that. Saran wrap and baby powder. We can do it. Okay, great. It's hard for me to tell people what I do, because what I do is, I got 60 years of practice doing it. So, and it fails on me sometimes. Shit happens. I think the biggest thing is to learn how to overcome mistakes, because they're going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen, guaranteed. How you get out of those mistakes is what makes an expert or novice. Because even the best builders make mistakes, guaranteed. You just try not to, If you'll notice when I'm doing something, this is not a brag, it's just a fact. You got to watch what I do, and I go, oops, that's a mistake. Don't sit and think about it. Just, click in your head. What do you need to do to fix that mistake? And go ahead and fix it rapidly instead of thinking about it for a week. And move on. Yeah, we dug up some paper there. Didn't like that. Didn't have enough dope on it. That's all right. Dope will take care of it. Somebody was asking me about the clearance for the push rod. I usually blame blame the tools. Yeah, well, it ain't the tools. It's the knucklehead behind the tool. I've made some bonehead mistakes. Oh, why did I do that? Did a pretty good job getting this sanded out today. So you figure, what the hell's that? Booger. So you figure I got it's gonna take, I feel that. What is that? It's gonna take 8 hours, 10 hours probably to fill fillets and get them sanded out. But see, I couldn't see that, but I could feel that. God gave you 5 senses for something. I fly with it instead of a ST60. Let's see. I'm using the Sig Magnum. How would or wouldn't? It doesn't have enough power. I had it years ago. I had a Magnum with a Super Tiger 46 in it. Did it fly? Yeah, it flew. But once I retrofitted to the Super Tiger 60, it was a world of difference. This airplane would fly good if it was 50 ounces with a 40 in it. But there's no way to build this airplane at 50 ounces with kit wood. No way. Foam wing? No, ain't gonna happen. So I would look for a Super Tiger 51. They fly pretty good with a 51 in it. But if you really want authority, Super Tiger 60. I take it you have one or you're building one. It's kind of a rare airplane. They don't make it no more. I mean, sometimes you can find them on eBay. Once in a while you can find them at a contest. But make sure you check the fuselage link to the plans. I'll tell you that right now. This must have been a real early kit. That's why there's no wing landing gear clips in it. Mike Pratt said, "Yeah, just put in the landing gear in the foam." No. I had somebody suggested this kit was probably for a 4-stroke. That's why the nose was so short. Because they did run 4-strokes in these for a while. How many guys have seen the 1-stroke engine? Look on YouTube for 1-stroke engine. It's amazing. Why, I don't know why they wasn't thought of before. If you had a Boxer 1-stroke engine, shit, that thing would put out so much power. You saw the video, yeah, oh yeah. People are really smart, really smart. I never would have thought of something like that. The 1-stroke engine. Let's get a new piece. That's what we need in these airplanes, is a 1-stroke. A 1-stroke engine has 2 pistons in it, and they're on a weird crank setup that the pistons are opposite each other and they come together in the middle. Why couldn't it? It would be half the size of a 60 and put out twice the power. So it'd be a 35 size piston and put out twice the power of a 60. Now I'm assuming, I don't know because I'm not the designer of that engine, I'm assuming that it runs on premix, because there wouldn't be any way to oil it at the crank. Half the weight, twice the power, I'll go for that. Boy, that CA booger really got me. I'll have a lump right there. Well, how do you suppose they transfer the power from the 1-stroke to the drivetrain? It's got to have a crank on it. How does it attach to the gearbox, you know? What's holding the conrods on? It's got, you know, the crank. They got a goofy, and I saw it at the Worlds in 2004. They got a goofy engine that the piston runs front and back and turns the crank around. So I don't remember what they call that motor. I should have bought it when I had a chance to buy it, because it's the only one I've ever seen. in person. I'll be sure to bring up those Pathfinder plans on the next video because I got to go to the store. I haven't unloaded my dope. I haven't even unloaded my car from the mats, really. Still got the shade in there and everything. Right, the wavy dish is attached to the crankshaft. Well, a post jet we definitely can't use because it doesn't have any torque. I know what you're saying about the wavy disc, but the wavy disc attaches to the crankshaft. Has a gear on it that attaches to the crankshaft. There has to be a way to transfer reciprocating power to rotating power. There has to be. Otherwise, they couldn't use it in a car. OS made a Wankel engine. And you wouldn't think, well, that thing ain't going to work, but it did. I mean, not for control line, RC. When they can make the battery, the wing skin, that's when electric's going to take over. You don't have to carry around that red brick in the nose. Okay, I'm working on this part right here. You guys, somebody was asking, I don't know who it was. What am I going to do for the clearance on the push rod nut? If you look right there, there's tissue. Well, I just clearanced it and tissued over it. You'll never see it when it's painted. This sandpaper must be really old. It ain't cutting shit. Pulse jet was designed by the Germans. They're what was that? Wasn't you? I don't know. That they had a bomb that they pulse jetted across the English Channel. Whatever they call it. I don't remember what they called it. That sanded out pretty easy. I guess I had her smoothed out pretty good. Let me show you what I mean about this primer. Yeah, V1, that's it. They had a V1 and a V2. See this primer? I started sanding this, but it's really not any good. And this is 180. Now, if this was DC 540, it would just fall off there. I mean, this stuff is like plastic. We won't be using this, I can tell you that. Now, this is 180 too. This DC 540 would do the same thing with 320. This stuff is way too... Doesn't have enough zinc stearate or whatever they got in it. Way too much work for that. That's why we're going to use the baby powder. I'll show you how to make some primer the old school way that really works. I'm not going to add xylene to it to make it dry fast, but it'll dry as fast as dope does. This stuff here, garbage. It does its job, don't get me wrong, but makes you have to work too hard to get it. So if you guys are using AutoZone or Harbor Freight primer, it ain't the same. And this was the only primer that had the ketones in it, so this has to be the one you guys were talking about, because them other primers would be incompatible with dope. But we did the experiment anyway. Oh shoot, I got a hole there now. Damn. I gotta put another piece of paper on it. Damn it. How did I do that? Fixed now. Pushed too hard with the sandpaper, I guess. Wasn't paying attention. Yep, I need to sand that. Got a spot there I missed. Okay, no problem. Do the other side now. I guess I could, I don't know, I could put a little piece on there. We'll figure it out. No big deal. We got 15 minutes, actually 13 minutes to sand this up. And I'll make a drugstore run. Got too aggressive with the sandpaper. Probably was the 80 that I used on that. Matter of fact, I know it was. I don't know if the guys are just popping in and out or what, but we've had pretty good views on this 3-hour program. There's 14 on now. We had 12 that go in and off and on. Use some acryl on there. Deep scratches there. Deep scratches. This lumber yard I went to yesterday was huge, and they said, go out and back there. It's in building 2. Okay. Some guys on a forklift wondering, what the hell are you doing over there? I'm digging. $80-some cents a foot. That turned out real good, the transition there. Here's another area I can tell if you sanded right or not. The transition from the fuselage to the rudder. If it ain't a smooth transition, you didn't do it right. The trick is to glue your rudder on and sand the wood back to the same thickness as the rudder. Sand the wood back, then put the filler on. You put the filler on first, then you get that lump looking thing there. Not good. I got a little spot right here that's not feathered in, so a feathered edge goes from this color to infinity. It just kind of melts in. If you got a hard line anywhere, that'll show in a paint job. I'll put another coat on this before I start sanding it. Should be dry when I come back. Now, I've always told you don't paint the fillets. Well, I painted those fillets, but I'm going to sand it all off. If you paint the fillets, it is guaranteed to lift. Guaranteed. But I needed to fill that, So we'll sand it, and I'll probably do that 3-4 times. I might have to put a little lump on there, 16th inch lump, and then, I don't know, because I don't want that to happen again. Where I poke a hole in it. If it holes up again, we'll put a 16th inch lump on it. Just the way it is. We got 5 minutes. I think my Continental's got a lump on it, but it's a big lump. It's probably 1/4 inch thick. But I got a better way to do it this time. We got a better way to do it. So the first round, fillet sand out, took 3 hours. I'll probably have 10 hours in the fillets. Maybe more. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So now what needs to happen is you need to come back and touch them up. You need to inspect them real close, which high, which is low. Mix up some superfill. We'll do that when I put the canopy on. Whatever's left over, come back and hit there, let that dry, then resand it. Because there is some spots. There's a spot right there needs done. This is where it normally happens. Leading edge, trailing edge. Once in a while in the center, there's a spot right there. Just a little spooey on there. Be done with that. This right here needs more sanding. We need to be more aggressive with that. And for any young guys watching this, if you learn how to do this, you can do body work on a car easy. How to sand to the tape line or body line. How to candle. C8 really screwed me up. All right, we are 2 minutes away from ending the show. Come back around, I'd say 5 o'clock for the next round. This program will probably run, I'll run this program till I go to sleep tonight, midnight or whatever. But I don't want to, do them 5 hours at a time. I'll do them 2 to 3 hours at a time. Have I missed any sanding? Yeah, the whole 3 hours. This program's 3 hours long. All right, I'm done. I'll see you in a little bit. We're gonna go. I'm gonna get some hamburgers and go to the store. So fair winds, tight lines. We'll see you next time. About 5 o'clock. Look for the stream, and see you then.